The gypsy engine is off and nobody's really talking. And just about 40 meters ahead is something which is half submerged in a tall grass. An animal that can weigh around 1,000 kilograms in weight and one of the most powerful wild animals in Asia. A tiger on a bison kill. It's not a deer, not a wild pig, not a sambar, but actually a bison. It's past 6 in the morning. The light is still soft, I think around grayish gold, and filtering through the sal trees in Kanha, and that haven't fully woken up yet. The gypsy engine is off, and nobody's really talking. And just about 40 meters ahead is something which is half submerged in a tall grass. Something in the size of a small car. Yes, this animal is a fully grown Indian gaur. An animal that can weigh around 1,000 kilograms in weight and one of the most powerful wild animals in Asia. In fact, the largest cattle in Asia. And standing over it is one paw resting possessively on the carcass is a beautiful male tiger. I would say this is one of the rarest and the most humbling sightings in Indian wildlife safaris. A tiger on a bison kill. It's not a deer, not a wild pig, not a sambar, but actually a bison. And an animal is so large and powerful that a successful kill represents one of the most extraordinary displays of strength in the entire animal kingdom. And in this video, I want to walk through why this sighting is so special and why photographers and wildlife enthusiasts distinguish these sightings from most of the sightings. And let's understand why this kill is so rare and it matters so much. You need to understand what the tiger is actually taking on. The Indian gaur, often called the Indian bison, actually, it's not a bison, it's a gaur, it's a cow family, but it is one of the largest bovines. In fact, it is the largest bovines species on the planet. It's far bigger than the cousin, the African Cape buffalo, which also is one of the most dangerous. These bulls can stand close to, I think, about 6 feet at shoulder, and they weigh about 1,000 kilograms, as I mentioned. Thick, muscular necks, sharp, curved horns, and when threatened, you don't stand a chance. And for a tiger who is weighing anywhere between, so this one is a male tiger, so he won't be weighing between 220 to 250 kilograms. That's like quarter of the weight of the prey. Taking it down it's an enormous risk, and most tigers kill more manageable prey. In fact, the favorite food of the tiger is a deer species called sambar, which is very commonly found in the Indian forests and in large numbers. But that's what the tiger really prefers. That's more like 400, 500 kilograms and very much manageable for the tiger. But and when you talk about the bison, right, this just isn't hunting. It's actually it's close to a gamble, if you may say. The tiger is really looking to take down a prey which is 4 times its weight and playing a sort of a risk. But it's a calculated risk because what actually happens is a single miscalculation and the hunt goes wrong and the tiger is finished. I mean, it could sustain injuries for a life. So, because of these risks, most tigers don't really actively seek gore. They seek out calves, the young ones, but seeking out a male gaur is something which is extremely rare, and that is why this sighting to me is special. When you come across a tiger on a gaur kill, the first thing that strikes you is scale. Even a large sambar carcass looks modest at best compared to a gaur kill. The carcass looks like less like prey and more like a fallen giant. And the tiger beside it, normally, obviously, is the undisputed apex predator. It suddenly looks proportionately smaller against the thing that it has brought down. And experienced naturalists will tell you on how long the kill has happened. And in our view, when we reached there, the kill had just about happened. It was early morning, so probably wee hours of the morning is when the kill happened. And fresh kills show minimal scavenger activity and an alert, sometimes tense tiger, still cautious and possessive, occasionally scanning the surroundings for scavengers. Kills that are a day or two old tell a very different story. So this was a fresh kill, and in this context, this kill was important because the gaur kill can feed a tiger for several days, and it was a male tiger who is in his prime, needs that kind of nutrition. So a gaur kill would really, really help, and he's a dominant male tiger of that area. So there aren't too many other tigers who will come and try to, steal that kill off him. So the tiger will typically drag, and this is what was happening, right? Was dragging the kill into the bush, and the sheer power of the tiger was helped that, with the way the tiger was pulling an animal four times its weight. This is the rare experience that I'm talking about. And even as I speak on this video, it really gives me a little bit of goosebumps as to what we witnessed that day. And this is the video which actually talks about it. And what makes this sighting more special is that the kind of behavior that this emits. You're really not watching a resting cat. You're watching an apex predator here who is at the prime of his territorial and possessive mode. And that's why this behavioral is so important. And if you watch closely, you'll often see that the tiger's ears are constantly twitching. They're rotating, they're tracking the sounds around it. You might see it stand up periodically to scent mark the surrounding area. But these are all behaviors to show possession. In fact, the tiger is not really disturbed by your presence there. It's actually looking at you through the vehicle. They're not looking at you in particular, they're looking at you in the vehicle. But sometimes it looks at you and then keeps your head down again, looks at you, keeps your head down. That's a way of acknowledging you. But also at the same time, it gives off these low puffs, which growls, which actually tell you like a warning signal. So don't be around too much. It's that maintaining of respect. So it's an amazing experience, when you see interactions like this. It has real goosebumps, and believe me. And I still maintain that, if you ask any veteran wildlife photographer, safari guide, naturalists as to what their most memorable sighting is, and invariably they will say a kill. And a kill as large as this, like a bison, it probably is a once in a lifetime event. And it's not just about seeing a tiger. Which itself it's special. Seeing a tiger, male tiger like this is very special. But it's also about seeing brute force, brute power, raw power, um, which tells you as to how important this animal is in the scheme of things, in terms of controlling the herbivore population, what its role in nature is. There's also an emotional weight is that a typical sighting doesn't carry, if you ask me. A tiger walking around the road is beautiful. We've seen so many tigers walk down the road, tigers with cubs, interaction, mating tigers, but these kind of sightings actually hold up right there. This is the kind of stuff that you really, really want to see when you visit the jungle. And these are once in a lifetime moments. I mean, we cannot guarantee these kind of sightings happen every day, as I said, but when it is there, to better make sure that you don't miss a single moment out of it. And if you really ask me, right, if I have to mention any closing comments, a tiger or a bison kill isn't just a great photograph or a lucky sighting. It's a rare window into the true scale of what it means as an apex predator. It's a function of risk, strength, ecology, backing yourself as a predator to bring down that kind of prey, what the tiger is thinking, and all compressed into a single scene in the middle of a beautiful forest early in the morning. And if you're planning for your safaris, hoping for moments like this, understand it. It is genuinely rare to get this, but it is also beautiful at the same time. So make sure that you hope for these kind of moments. If you ever witnessed a large kill on a gaur or a sambar or any other thing which is memorable, I would genuinely love to hear about it. Do drop it in the comments below what your favorite sighting has been. If you are curious to know how about conservation efforts are actively working to protect species like this, don't miss our next video on where we look as to why buffer zones are increasingly becoming important in most tiger reserves. Till then, thank you for watching. Subscribe, like, and share. Take care. Have a great day.